Welcome back to Taiwan Outlook. Our guest today is Charlene Huang. She is a very professional and very senior interpreter in Taiwan. Charlene, we've been talking about your personal experiences. But looking back, the 15 or 20 years, how do you see the interpretation industry in Taiwan?
Before I answer your question, allow me to maybe go over the type of interpretation assignments that I see in this industry so that we could have a better feel about what constitutes the market or the market size. In terms of simultaneous interpretations, there will be international conferences. For example, Taiwan has the world's third largest electronic show called Computex. And when that happens, you get tens of thousands of people descending upon Taiwan. So there will be international conferences for people to exchange notes. And there are also like energy conservations, this type of conferences, or smaller size, like the board meetings or shareholders meetings I talked about. And there's also the focus group, like market research companies. They will have clients, say, offering different type of consumer goods or services. And these companies, they want to know what the consumer will feel like when they launch a new product, a new design, new features. So focus group is also a place where it will require simultaneous interpretation. And they will have a group of people, 6, 7 people, and with a moderator talking to them and go through a list of pre-designed questions in order to collect information and using this group as a sample to represent the whole public, the whole community, and what the consumer will feel if they launch this product with this particular design and features.
So all this suggests that the market is getting bigger in Taiwan.
These are only the simultaneous interpretation part. And then why don't we talk about the consecutive interpretation part? There are like press conferences when the companies are launching new products and new services. They will have a press conference. Or when there's a crisis in the business and they need to make a public announcement, public statements, and the boss could be the foreigners, so we need to communicate with the local press. Or deposition. Deposition is when a company sues another company, they are getting witnesses from another company to collect the statements, collect testimonies, and then we will be called upon to do the translation or interpretation. It's called deposition interpretation. There are workshops, teachers teaching, and then I will be serving like a teaching assistant, standing beside the teacher and try to translate. Or there are also motivational type of seminar. For example, the life insurance company, when they train their salespeople, or when the multi-layer marketing companies, when they train the people, you have this kind of motivational speeches. And the speaker from outside would need our help to convey the information. So that's for consecutive interpretation. And for escort interpretation, we will be going out to the factories with the international prospective buyers to look at the production floor, to negotiate the contract. Or we could be doing some inspection work for some kind of certification. Or we could be in a due diligence situation. Due diligence means like when there's a merger or acquisition coming up and the funding or the money is coming from an international group, international private equity, then they want to know about this company, how much is the right price to pay to acquire this particular company. So there is a due diligence work to be done, and that will be like at the premises of this targeted company. Or there will be investigation. For example, when delegation from the international community want to know about the Taiwan's human rights situations, and I will be going out with this visitors to visit the prisons, the courthouse, the prosecutor's office, victims' families, or the inmates on death row, or these inmates' families.
I see.
And And there's also something interesting called fixer. And people in the TV industry probably is familiar with it. When you have a production team going out to foreign countries, you need a driver, you need someone to fix up your accommodation, transportation, try to locate, identify the subject to interview with, and also serve as an interpreter. So that's a fixer. And there was another case. I was in India for 30 days. There was a Taiwanese fishing boat was arrested by Indian authority. And so the family of this captain of the boat was very anxious trying to get the crew out. So I was there for 30 days and going around to the police station, to the detention center, to talk to the lawyers, to talk to police, and so on. So all these situations. So, but nowadays, because this, the world is so interconnected,
that's right.
So with all this interconnected situation, you need a bridge across the language, across the culture. So the market itself, I would say the demand for interpretation is getting bigger. However, because of this emerging Chinese economy, so a lot of business is going to China. And so I could feel in Taiwan, although the overall market size may be bigger than 15 years ago, but I don't see a rapid expansion in the near future.
How about a supply side? Are there more competitors joining into this market?
Oh, definitely, because now more and more people are motivated or aware of this opportunity, and they have equipped themselves with the right skill, right techniques. They want to enjoy the fun of this industry. So I get more and more colleagues to, I wouldn't say compete against, I would say to exchange notes with.
Yeah, but how do you maintain yourself as one of the leading group of interpreters or interpreter in Taiwan?
I wouldn't say I'm one of the leading, but I try to be humble, to work at every assignment very hard and try to prepare as much as possible, physically and intellectually, and try to deliver a good service so that the people in the audience will be, when they not in agreement with the speaker, when they have this earphone on, then I know they got the message, I got the message across, and that's very gratifying.
Yeah. In terms of the overall environment you've been describing to us, in terms of Taiwan's interpretation industry, how do you see the young people getting into the business? How are they different from the senior ones in terms of serving as an interpreter?
Young people, they have the drive. They have the better stamina than I have. But in this field, I would say experience gives me advantage. That's because I know about human nature. I'm older, I'm married, I have a grown son. So that helps me to gauge people's response, or what people intend to say. But the young people, they have their drive, they are very enthusiastic, and they have a fresh mind. So very soon, I'm sure they will overtake me.
The reason I'm asking that is that the overall impression is that the younger people now are better equipped with multiple languages, and they are speaking better English and so on. But there's another side story. People say they don't speak better English than we did in the past and so on. What's your impression of that kind of situation?
That varies from individual to individual. I have seen some very self-motivated young colleagues. They take every project seriously, prepare sufficiently, and very soon they excelled in this field. But there are also other people, they kind of are not that serious about an assignment, and so if they don't get repeat business, they will gradually leave the field.
I think the competition not only comes from domestic market, but also from abroad as well. In this, as you say, interconnected world. People in India also doing translation for the Americans too, and so on. So how do you deal with these kind of challenges or competitions from abroad, or even especially from China?
Although China and Taiwan purportedly use the same official language, Mandarin, there are still slight difference between the vocabulary that we use. It's like a difference between the American English and the English.
That's right.
So we have our own audience to serve, which is the people in Taiwan. And of course, the interpreters in China, they are better equipped to serve their own audiences, people speaking the Mandarin in China. But I have also have a number of colleagues who are branching out to the Chinese market, and it's getting quite busy and getting a lot of assignment in China. So I believe if an interpreter would like to go international, would need to condition yourself, maybe say watching the soap opera that's produced in China, so you could familiarize yourself with the vocabulary, with the kind of a jargon that's used in across the Taiwan Strait, and that's the way to branch out.
I think with that kind of language skill, you can do more than just interpretation. You also, as far as I know, you also do translation of books and so on. Are many people doing the same thing in your business?
Interpretation is a very competitive market. So from time to time, we will get inquiries to do translation. Could be a large article, could be a short piece of, say, press release. And I have been fortunate to be doing the bulk of my business in interpretation. But from time to time, I get translation requests from clients that's associated with the interpretation project.
Yeah, and in addition to that, I think you also did a lot of interpretation for the government officials, and also for the business people, or even academic people. How different they are,
Oh, everybody's different. So in our business, we come to realize that the difference within one population, from this extreme to that extreme, is much bigger than the difference between different populations. Meaning, I could relate to an experience that an American person told me about having a mentally retarded child at home. I will be able to understand a parent looking very worried about a missing child. This kind of there's not that much different, because human nature is the same across population, across language, across religion, and so on. Right. But still, even within the, say, or Taiwanese speakers that I come across, all kinds of Taiwanese speakers. Some people speak fast, some people speak disoriented, some people, they are very kind to interpreters. They know to accommodate interpreters, and some people simply just go on and keep talking and talking and talking, and without realizing they need an interpreter to get the message across. That's right. All kinds of people.
When you, for instance, if there's some words they just cannot figure out right away, how do you do it to overcome the, difficulties?
Yes, that's an instantaneous challenge. Yeah. There are times I could not find the right words, the precise word in the target language. Then I would need to beat about the bushes and try to use a lot of narratives to describe it. But that kind of challenge can be reduced if I do my preparation well. I have to be mentally prepared and do my homework. It's very important.
Yeah. In Taiwan right now, there's no certificated interpreters. And some people argue that should be licensed. Otherwise the market would be very chaotic and so on. So what's your take on that? Do you think that there should be a licensed, sophisticated interpretation job in Taiwan?
I believe the certification or a license is just setting the minimum requirements for a person to be able to claim that I am qualified to be an interpreter, to be on this mark, to get your business. But in addition to that, because every subject, every project is different, so a person, even with a license, with a certification, still needs to work hard and try to accommodate the specific audience with specific project. And with that, you need to do a lot of work to get yourself up to the speed, so to speak.
That's right. And we've been talking about the internationalization of Taiwan, and Taiwan needs to be internationalized, globalized, and so on. But they're also concerned that Taiwan is becoming more localized. And I will get some views from you, especially as you being in this business and interacting with people from different countries. And we'll see how you see the internationalization of Taiwan in this globalized world. And let's take a short break. Stay with us.